Hi everybody, welcome to my studio. It's going to be another low-key Facebook update this week. It was a rough night, but I am happy to report that the worst of this infusion should be over now, and I will be right as rain until May when I get to start over again. So thanks for bearing with me during the low times. I am very happy to be getting back to myself so I can get some sewing done. Not a lot has happened this last week, except I did get to go to the Quilt Basket on Saturday, which is a quilt shop in Pawling, New York, right on the border of New York and Connecticut. I didn't get to teach a class. I got to take a class with the amazing Terry Lucas. So if you ever have a chance to take a class with Terry Lucas, do so. It was a lot of fun. We learned about the color wheel and machine quilting, and it was fabulous. Please excuse me a second. My phone and my hearing aids are talking to each other and are very annoying. Okay, I'm better. Hi. Sorry about that. So I have a few things to talk to you about this week. I haven't been doing much sewing because I've been doing a lot of sleeping. But let's see the new things. First off, today, check on my Debbie Brown Quilts Facebook page, my personal Facebook page, and look for the Knitting Universe on Instagram because I'm the featured teacher today for them. And if you follow along their guidelines of leave a comment and link to a name, you have a chance to win a free class at the upcoming show, the upcoming Stitches show. So check out Knitting Universe. It's currently on my Facebook page. And I will admit, I don't know how to share this on Instagram, so you have to find Knitting Universe on Instagram. I'm teaching at a Stitches United show, which is knitting, crocheting, and quilting. So if you're wondering what the knitting is about, I do also knit and I also crochet, and I could teach you how, but professionally, I live in the quilting world. For now, we'll see. I'm feeling the call of yarn, so we'll see what I can do with that. And today was actually a fun yarn day. My son's sister-in-law came over because we were at a family event over the weekend, and I mentioned that I had found a huge, like unliftable box of knitting books that I had packed before I moved here. And I packed that box in 2001. And my son's sister-in-law is a knitter. So she came over today and we went through that box of knitting books, and I found some crochet books and some cross stitch books. And it was just a fun history of knitting and crocheting and cross stitching before I was a professional quilter. And the quilting books didn't get packed in there. But what was most fun is I had a little handheld vacuum, and we kept going back and forth and vacuuming each other because a box that was packed a long time ago collects a lot of dust around it, and I hadn't cleaned it out. So if you see any dust bunnies flying on me or in my hair, that just happened a little while ago. I did also pull out it was just some fun history. And looking at knitting books from the 80s and knitting magazines from the 80s was hilarious with the hair and the shoulder pads and the sweaters. It was just a fun time. I have more knitting books that I'll probably be de-accessioning to make room for some new passions. Don't you go through that with your quilting? Like you bought this 15 years ago and say, oh, I still would like to make that, but the new stuff I would like to make more. So I'm just moving that along down the road. But many dust bunnies were killed today while I got rid of 20 pounds of knitting books. So let's see what else is going on in the quilting world. I've been working on wheelchair quilts. So when I'm not feeling well, I dig into my scraps. And I'm also a huge tea drinker. Huge. Is that a big enough teacup? It's as big as my head. I'm a huge tea drinker, and Harney Tea is a local tea company look, more dust bunnies. I can fit my 2.5-inch scrap squares in a Harney tea box. So I have them divided into brights or pastels or all sorts of scraps. I also have them in patriotic. So this box is overflowing because my local Quilt Guild got in touch with our local VA hospital and asked what size wheelchair quilts they wanted. And I just decided to start sewing them up. Last week I did make a patriotic wheelchair quilt with enough fabric left over for another. And this is in a hot cinnamon spice container. So even though I've washed it, it still is lightly scented, which is a lovely tea. I have many seniors at my church, and I decided to take my bright fabrics and make another wheelchair quilt. This won't go to the VA because it's not the color scheme they want, but I was just pulling out some really bright and rainbow color ones. And then I have one more box of everything else, and this will just be more charity quilts. And I'll probably back it with black, use a black as the offset, and just go through and sew up a bunch of really fun and simple, use up my scraps type of charity quilts. So that's been fun, and I'm practicing doing a lot of the quilting on them on my home sewing machine. So there may be some videos coming of that for you. We'll see. So that's been going on. I also, this hasn't shown up online yet, but you always know that you hear the story first on my YouTube Live, on my Facebook Live. Hi, Janet, I'm glad you're here. I've dug into my 1.5-inch squares, and I've been making a series of postcards out of those. So expect to see these show up online a little bit later. These are still in process. I've got more. So, instead of going through the bolts of fabric I had, I've decided that the most important thing to do is to finish up that 1.5-inch square of white. Doesn't that seem like the best use of your time? And it did. I give myself permission when I'm not feeling well to just dig in and do any type of quilting that I feel like. And it's usually just grabbing pre-cut squares and sewing them all together just because I can and because it's fun. Do you like the quilting process that much that you just sitting and sewing squares together is fabulous? Oh, sorry, the comments are coming by. Yes, so that is going, I think that's going to the post office today. And oh, I'm glad you like the postcards. These are just a lot of fun. And hopefully they're fun for people to get in the mail as well. I usually get calls and texts whenever people get a card in the mail. So they're fun for me, and my mail carrier is enjoying them greatly. So like I said, not tons of sewing has been accomplished in the last week, but let's see. I have this here, so maybe tomorrow. This is the crate quilts that I've been making and filming. So I have apparently one ready to film tomorrow. I know what I'm going to quilt on it, but I will take input from you of what you'd like me to show you how to quilt on it. I'm doing it all on the home sewing machine. So the walking foot you can use with rulers on a long arm machine or a sit down long arm machine. And the ruler quilting is going to be the same. But if there's a certain technique you'd like me to show, I have crate quilts that I can easily let you pick what some of the videos will be. But if you've noticed on the YouTube videos, I'm learning how to edit videos with more than one camera. So on the last one, there were probably a couple places, if you watched, that you saw that the sewing machine needle kept going after the noise stopped by a split second. So I'm not a professional video editor, but I am learning. So hopefully you're having fun watching the videos. And this brings me to a huge favor that I'd like to ask of you. YouTube is changing their policy on who can get what level of accessibility. I definitely I have enough viewers, I have enough followers. Now, I'll always take more, but I've hit that easily. The problem is the minutes. And what they're doing is they're taking away the monetization. And I don't actually put tons of ads on the videos. I don't make much money. I think I've made less than $30 in a year. So it's not about the money on it. What it is it on the back end, it makes it easier for me to link and do a few things with the videos if I have a certain number of viewed minutes on my YouTube channel. And I have until February 20th to have 240,000 minutes on my YouTube channel of viewing. Now I'm not very far from that goal. And when it's viewed in numbers, if you go by the number of followers I have, it's really not that many per person. But if you could help me out and go watch one of my playlists, I need the viewing minutes to stay up. And again, it's not for the ads. I try to make sure that they don't put any ads at the beginning of my videos because those are annoying to me. I don't like them, so I don't put them on there. They may show a little pop-up ad or something like that, but it's not about the money. It's about how easy it is for me to put the video online. So if you could watch the video and a playlist of videos, or go through a bunch of tutorials. I have over 100 videos online. I have my weekly video tutorials. I have the globetrotting series. I have walking foot videos, ruler videos, my Facebook Lives. I'm putting more on there. I just need to get, over 10,000 more minutes. So I'd really appreciate if you could do that favor for me. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. If you don't, I'll still put videos online, and I just have to work a little harder on the back end of putting some links and stuff together. So let's see what else is going on. Not a lot. As I said, it's been an interesting week, because for those not following, I get routine medical treatments, but it is a form of chemotherapy. It's a biologic chemotherapy. So I get, yesterday I was celebrating that I was not nauseous, which came back to haunt me overnight. So today is a little bit of a slow day, but again, all of the side effects are on the way out. And by next week, I should be right as rain and good till May. And we'll have more upbeat, more energy for the videos. I do have another question to ask you. I know that you're on Facebook because you're watching this on Facebook Live. Let's see. I'm not sure if it's my computers. I am now wicked tall. I'm actually sitting down. See, I'm sitting, because you can see my sewing machine should be right in front of me. I'm sitting at my sewing machine right now. So I'm not sure what's up with that. I just have all the plans that I wanted to put together in 2018. Are you back? I won't mention it until I hear that you're back. Anybody? So I had a bunch of plans for 2018. And I knew that I was going to have medical treatment starting on January 2nd. So I wasn't going to be able to start everything in January. But I know that you're with me on Facebook. Oh, sorry about that. Sorry that you're freaking out, but I'm glad you can hear me. So yeah, I'm not sure what's going on now. But the last question I had for you is, does anybody listen to quilting podcasts? Because that's something I've been thinking about doing. And now that I'm feeling better, I'd like to move forward and see if there's a few new things that I can do. So I just wanted to know how many of you listen to podcasts, quilting podcasts, or if that's something that would interest you. So that's kind of, since the video is going out and we're not sure what Facebook Live is doing today, I didn't have that much to talk about this week since I've been mostly asleep since I talked to you last week. Anyway, but next week, it will also be on Wednesday. I have to go into Manhattan. Pixels everywhere. Oh, sorry. Next week, I have to go into Manhattan on Tuesday, so I'll be here next Wednesday again, which I think is January 31st. Something like that. Anyway, I'll be here next Wednesday, and I'm going to go while the video is cutting out. So thanks for being with me. Follow along on Facebook and everything, and find out where I'm going to be. We'll try another Facebook Live video next week when the feed is better. Bye.